All right. Let's get this thing popping.
You're listening to the Hot Seed Podcast.
The Hot Seed.
Welcome all. I'm Sean, along my co-host, Earl.
Yeah, Earl.
My bad. Being the father.
Yeah,
What's up,
that's
Will?
for Mike's.
There you go. Dave.
Yes, sir.
And you guys already know what it is. If we're just Dads with Mics, gamers with headsets, and a whole lot of unfiltered conversation. As always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seed Podcast. And be sure to listen, like, rate, review, share, and most importantly, enjoy on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite podcast shows. And go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube channel at the Hot Seed Podcast, where you can watch this fine visual here. Or again, say if you just want to listen on the go, whichever way you decide, man. Episode 141. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back, fellas. How we doing? How we doing since I seen you just a few days ago? I know we did the pod on Thursday. We're back again. Back in our regular
good.
Program,
The missuses are back in town. They went away on a quick bachelorette jaunt. Came on back. That was a ride. The midnight pickup.
Oh, man.
Sean had the joke about the chauffeur in service. I know on my side she got in a little early. Definitely took Carter, the dog, up with me. He was going crazy when she got in the car. Okay, she's not dead or she didn't leave you. So
welcome home.
That's pretty much how that went. But yeah, other than that, you'll see how the rest of my week went. So yeah, we'll get to that.
Same. It got in early. But man, that is something about when you gotta go to the airport and that relaxing time is happening. So, I know the flight's coming in around 11:30. She got there a little earlier. 3:00 in the afternoon, 6, 7, and I ate dinner. I'm sitting down and I'm like,
dragging.
Oh man, I'm in my mind, I'm like, man, how much love do I have? I might have to call them an Uber because that's right. No, but it was, I'd get there. Got through there pretty smoothly, actually. This is one of the few times driving to BWI that I got in there. They was out there, got them packed up and left. And the other time, I'm waiting a half hour just to get up to the door for arrivals. But this time, it was pretty smooth.
Listen, I got up there a little early. You know how everybody doing the illegal parking out on the highway on the side because they don't want to go up that ramp. So everybody out there on the highway just with their lights on, like, all right, we just all waiting. There was probably a line of a good 20 cars. Just lined up on the side of 95 waiting to go up the ramp into the airport. So, whether you're coming in the morning, afternoon, evening, or midnight that night, the airport is moving.
It's that parking on the side, they even got signs out there for people not to do, and they do it anyway, but it's way dangerous. You can't see. And the way people drive in Maryland, they be like not on the emergency lane. They be like halfway in the road. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
But, besides that, it was a good weekend, good chill time. The weather was nice, and then it decided to just like pull the rug from underneath us, and it's 40 degrees. I was like Earl for a second there. I had nothing on. I had the windows open. I ain't gonna lie, I had to turn that heater back on because that temperature got a little bit too low for me. I don't like it.
Last night was like 35.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. The blankets weren't enough for me. It'd be comfortable. Earl, how's your week, man?
Man, it was long, bro. It was long. There was a lot of stuff going on this week at work. Just a long week. Just happy it's over. Another long week. So I just need to get spring break.
Man, I'm
countdown.
Yeah.
Look, we go ahead. What you got?
Pray for our school officials out there.
Yes, very much so. Yes, very much, very much. So I was salute to my man Derek Brooks. He was a guest of ours a little while ago, and he's also a substitute teacher. And he was, on his Instagram page, and he was really just talking to parents, man, and where we are now, this new generation of kids, and what we're doing to make sure we teach them the right things. And what he was talking about was he was there substituting, and all the kids were in line, and they were going into school. So of course, most schools now have adopted the clear backpack situation. Um, but these kids, they all stand in line, going through a metal detector. And while they were doing that, it's a cop going by with a dog, German Shepherd, going up the line to sniff them. I'm like, are these kids going to learn, or are they going to do time? Like, we are so far away from what it used to be like to go to school. Like, I know when we was in there, we had, even in high school, they might have had a random drug search here and there, but they might have been looking for weed. They never found a gun. People did stupid stuff like they did like they never called it the bomb threat, but somebody did set off one of those stink bombs into the school, stuff like that. Now it's a whole completely different type of situation going to school, man. I don't even know. I can imagine being an official there and having to deal with this on top of all the the political and extracurricular things that's happening. So I feel you, Earl. We gonna get you through the night, bro. We're gonna get a smile on your face, man. I promise, man. But I don't know if we're gonna be smiling yet. Maybe we will. I don't know. We gonna jump right into some real estate corner because my man Dave has something to say. He has something to say. You do. I'll lie to you.
Hello, all, for this one, because we about to have a time real quick. Welcome to the Real Estate Corner with Dave. I'm Dave Story of the Story Group over at Exit Community Realty. That's probably the nicest thing that you'll hear come out my mouth during this segment. So where do I begin, fellas? I don't know if you know much that's going on in the real estate market right now, but the big news is that the NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, just came about a settlement for $418 million in a class action suit with other sellers that filed that suit, sellers of houses that felt like they were misled or kind of overcharged in the sense of commission and a set rate of 6% and stuff like that. Okay. And I'm going to say they felt like that. You'll see why in a moment. Now everybody was like, oh, this is going to cause a major shift in the real estate market. Oh, wow. Let's clap it up for the government. They done brought down commissions. Oh, commissions were at 6%. And now we can negotiate these things on down. And that's going to be great, guys. The government just helped us out. They did us a solid. So much so that that's what the media is spinning. Heck, if you jump online and put up NAR settlement, one of the things that'll pop up is like a CNN article talking about commissions being cut from 6%, all these different type of things. The Department of Justice is the one that decided this, so through the government. And then you have even our current president, Joe Biden, talking today out in Las Vegas, talking about what he's doing for the common folks to help them get into houses. He knows about the housing crisis, and he's going to be helping out. So one of the things he's pushing on is the fact of this whole settlement through the DOJ and the NAR, and that sounds great. Yes, let's go. Another 4 years. Let's go, Joe. All right. So, Joe. Let's just start with the major headline. The 6% commission has been slashed. Here's a headliner for you. There's never been a set rate of 6%. It's always been negotiable. If you don't believe me, go look at a contract that you signed when you purchased a house. Both of y'all did. And that's actually written in the commission, the rate. You know how I know? I've done things for 6. I've done things for 5. I've done things for 4.5. I've gotten to the point of when I was coming to the point of a closing table and saw that somebody wasn't going to have enough money for all the other fees and then also my commission. And we negotiated right at that point to bring the commission down because that's a circumstantial thing that happens. If it was a set rate, it would already be in there. It's always been negotiable. We've always been 100% commission-based business. That's it. So just know that. So the big headline of, oh, they're resetting commission rates. No, they're really not. Let me show you how they actually put the real estate world in a much worse situation than it's always been. And I'm not talking about just for the commission people like myself as far as real estate agents. So you're helping out the real estate market. Tell me if you agree with this. Right now, home prices are still high, are they not?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely are.
Interest rates are still high, are they not?
Yeah.
Okay. Property taxes are going up, are they not? Where I'm
Yes.
going. Homeowners insurance is still jumping. If you don't think so, be a homeowner and see when that thing comes to you and you go, oh, your mortgage payment is changing. Oh, wait a minute, but I got a fixed rate. That doesn't mean anything about taxes and homeowners insurance.
Yep, just went through that.
That's jumping up. Is it not? I know you don't even want to talk, girl. You in Jersey, so you don't even want to talk about that type of stuff. But these are things that are going up, are they not? Right now. So that's the perfect storm, because the perfect storm economically within real estate is supply and demand, right? Supply and demand. So right now, inventory is very low, but there were still buyers out there trying to buy. So that's what was keeping the market going. You know what happens when inventory is low and then the demand is low? Try to guess what happens.
Things go up.
You have no inventory. You have no buyers. Welcome to chaos.
Yeah.
Welcome to the real estate world coming to a halt. Welcome to the economy going down, because that's what's going to move the economy. Real estate. Okay. So if you want to do that collapse, that's great. You have now taken the American dream out of the first-time home buyer's hand. And there's a reason why I'm saying first-time home buyers. Okay. Because when they think that, oh, commission is now coming down, well, let's talk about that. Before, probably over 90% of the time, I'll just say a high percentage of the time, sellers would go about selling their house, getting a listing agent. Then that listing agent would say, hey, my commission is 6%, 5.5%, 5%, whatever it is. Once again, not set, whatever it is. And then that rate not only paid them, but it paid the buyer's agent. Eventually brought along a buyer to buy that house, right? So say it was at 5%. Maybe the listing agent took 3%. And then when that buyer's agent brought a buyer and they ratified a contract, came to an agreement, that extra 2% went to the buyer's agent. And that was it. Done deal. Oh, well, the sellers are mad because now they're paying the buyer's agent and they're not doing anything for them and blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go into that. So now with this judgment, guess what it did? Sellers think, okay, I'm just going to pay the listing agent. Is the buyer's agent not going to get paid? Yeah, they're going to get paid. But guess who they're going to charge now? The buyer. Does that sound like the American dream? Does that sound like a smart thing to do? Oh, no, it sounds like the equal thing to do, Dave. Okay. You guys are both homeowners, are you not? Sean and Earl?
Yep.
Go back to your scenario when you purchased your house. Just go back to that time period for a moment and follow me. FHA buyer, first time home buyer, right? You're paying a down payment of normally about 3.5%. Okay? You're paying closing costs that can range anywhere from 3 to 5%. Hopefully, maybe you get approved for a program that helps you out with down payment, closing costs, or maybe both. You got to pay an appraiser up front to get the value on that actual place, right? You got to pay an inspector up front to do the inspection on the place. Maybe multiple inspections. Okay? All those things are going on. Oh, by the way, our president, our DOJ, and the media feels like it's a win to throw buyer's agent commission on top of all those expenses that I just listed. That's a winning equation, isn't that? I don't care if it's 3%, 2.5%, 2%, 1%. That's not a winning equation.
Right.
Do the math, people. Why more times than not was the seller paying for the buyer's agent? Because the buyer didn't have the money to pay, because they got to pay all these other expenses. Is the buyer's agent supposed to work for free? Are they supposed to drive around all these places for free? Are they supposed to sit back and put in offers and run comps for free? Are they supposed to do that multiple times for free and use their expertise? I don't think so. So when you sit back and you look at this, I don't know why the government overreached and thought they were doing a solid for the American people. Because honestly, they just put more of an expense on them. Nobody's going to work for free. Oh, by the way, those lawyers in this case that sat back, that was fighting for the man. let's help out the common person, right? Okay. $418 million was the settlement, correct? Know how much the lawyers got?
But 10% of that?
Doing it for the people? How much you say?
Like 10% of that?
Go up.
Like 25, probably.
Go up.
God damn.
See where I'm going? They got 40%. 40%.
40%.
So, yeah. Well, actually, when I'm looking at I'm sorry, break down that percentage. I'll just tell you overall what they're getting. I think the number's around 82 million. Just say 82 million, whatever it is.
Okay. Yeah.
So whatever it is, 82 million. though. Let's just put it there.
So they're getting about 20,
like
almost
30-something percent.
But watch this for a second. So let's stay around that 20. Oh, my bad. Let's stay around there. I wonder if they sat back and said, "Let me help out the average man and bring down my percentage."
Facts.
Why not? You're helping the average people. Is that not negotiable? Can we not file a suit against you lawyers that charge whatever percentage per hour? Oh, do you want to live in a world where a buyer's agent is now...
You went out, Dave. Awesome. He was cooking.
He said he's gonna jump back.
Yeah. Either way, it's a you seen this coming. It was a case of
Yeah,
there you go.
All right.
There you go.
My bad. So let's go back in real quick. See, that was the man trying to get me. They're like, oh, spitting that out. So real quick. Do you want to go into a world where now an agent is itemizing every single service they provide for you? Hey, by the way, you want me to drive around to these houses? This is my expense.
Mm-hmm.
Or you want me to open a door? This is my expense. How many houses we seeing today? This is my expense. How many offers am I putting in? Oh, that one got declined. You want me to put in another one? This is my expense. Oh, you want me to run comps? You want me to do paperwork? This is my expense. Oh, you want me to be there for the inspection? You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
By the way, this is a profession, in case you don't know, in real estate, it's not guaranteed pay. I could be working with somebody for months, and if you never find a home, guess who else doesn't get paid?
Right. Or their money falls through. Yeah.
Or like I said, you can get to the end and not even think that you're not even get what you thought you were getting because you had to negotiate that money down for the deal to close. So when everybody thinks that this whole NAR agreement just helped the average Joe, no pun intended, that's out there trying to get things done, I would strongly disagree with that, because just to put you in the realm of a real estate agent, that real estate agent, let's say on the buyer side, got 2% of a $500,000 house, right? Okay. So when you're looking at that, that's $10,000. Oh, that's a good living. You act like the brokerage doesn't take their cut. You act like if they're not on a team, that team doesn't take their cut. You act like they don't have to pay taxes. Maybe not up front, but you act like they don't have to do it. You act like they don't have the same expenses as you do that you're complaining about. You act like they don't own a home. You act like if they're selling their house, that they don't pay, say, the buyer's agent that's coming. See where I'm going with this? They don't live in a separate world. So stop separating stuff, and the government stop jumping into things that have absolutely nothing to do with you. You want to help us out? Bring down the interest rates. You want to help us out?
That's too easy right there. That's too easy.
You see what I'm saying? Figure out a way to level out taxes. You want to help us out? Help us out with the homeowners insurance. You want to help us out? Why are we paying mortgage insurance premiums on the behalf of lenders to protect them and nothing's protecting us? You want to help us out? If you can't help us with that, get the fuck out the way. That's all I'm saying. So once again, Real Estate Corner with Dave. I don't know how y'all feel about it. I had a lot
I
going
mean,
on.
I guess I would say this.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. I agree with you. Like I said, as somebody who is a homeowner, and who's been through that process, like there's nowhere in the world that I could have done that by myself. Like I could sit up there, I could look up stuff all day, but then to actually go put in the offer, then have to sit up here and compete with other like no, that's a lot. But I think people are starting to or feeling like maybe this is something that I can do on my own. Which is
that's what's gonna happen.
Which is you're bugging.
That's what's gonna happen.
But and I think that's why people are, oh well, they're paying, I'm getting paid. No.
But spin it back, girl. Spin it back, girl. That's why I say all these professions are very similar, but they only came after us. If I'm in the courtroom, can I represent myself?
Yeah, but the difference.
Go ahead.
The difference is the outcome or the risk is way higher in court than it is in if you're buying the house.
Yes.
And I'm gonna say it like this.
Go ahead.
The reason why I say that is because let's say if you're on trial for like let's just say like some kind of felony, right? You represent yourself and you're not acquitted, you run the risk of getting that penalty, whether that's jail time, suspension, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you're going in there with a trained individual, and I'm gonna circle it back around to you, if you're going in there with a trained individual, you decrease your chances of getting hit with that. So that's why I say like people need to chill, because realtors, and everybody's different, but realtors, this is their profession. So at the end of the day, because they're trained in this, they're going to be able to give you a service that is way greater than a service that you can get, that you can do on your own, YouTube or whatever. You're not going to be as good as somebody who's been doing this, and this is what they do. Like Sparta. Right. What did you do? What do you do? He said, like, I'm a carpenter. No. Spartans.
And I'm going to tell you, where it's really going to get crazy. And then Sean, you can go. Well, you know what? I'll spin it to Sean. Somebody that served in our military, much respect for that. Imagine you go out with a VA loan, but you can't even be represented by a buyer agent because legally you can't pay them. That's a fact. You can't pay outside of that, the purchase of the home.
Yeah.
I can't charge them for any difference in commission. So what you going to do? Somebody's going to work with you for free and hopefully get paid by the seller?
No. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and you know what? I think about paying you. Yeah, okay.
It's just another case, man, of instead of them actually resolving the issue around money and numbers and such, they're just moving the numbers. That's all you're doing. You're just shifting the responsibility, and at the end of the day, the person who gets hit, you said it multiple times, the person who ends up carrying that burden is the low man on the totem pole, and that's your everyday. Yeah, everyday people.
But you know what? I mean, sometimes when the government does simple things like this and they don't think all the way around, then it's called natural consequences. So if now you're going to see relatives say, "Oh, really? Okay." Itemize this, like you were saying, itemize that.
Yeah.
Now that number looks real different at closing. And you're like, oh, well, yeah, because y'all wanted a fixed rate. This doesn't pay for the time and energy that I put in. Right. Absolutely not. I had to drive 45 minutes over here. You wasted gas.
Charging per hour for
per hour. Yeah. I charge it. Or you can even I'm gonna charge by the mile. You want to go where? No problem. We charge you by the mile. You know what I'm saying? And then you start running all that stuff down and being meticulous about what you charging. And then you say, here's the bill. What you want to do with it? So now that 6% don't sound so bad, huh?
It's the equivalent to barbers, man. You think about a lot of people, they scoff at the fact that how much you have to pay a barber this day and age for a haircut. And they be like, well, how you guys charging so much? Well, his booth rent went up. Why? Because
Nah,
the
I ain't
place,
I ain't jacking that shit. Nope.
no. Here's some
Mm-mm.
places where, because they're renting out a booth.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes that goes up because of the actual facility that they're in. If their lease goes up, that money, now, of course, just like in real estate, some people who going OD and be like, well, I'm raising this rate because of that, and they're not doing the work. But at the same time, if something increasing here, something else has to increase in this aspect.
So I'll say that just for that, and I don't use that one because one, booth rent is illegal in United States. Now that's from what I heard, that's about to change, but that's illegal. Second, the cost of getting your hair cut, it ain't nothing changing in terms of what you're getting in terms of the service. Now the only added, well, no. Listen, the only thing that does change, I can understand if you're doing a hair wash, you're doing a facial and all that stuff, all those amenities that they're adding. Yes,
going from gray to black.
Yeah, exactly. You put in Beijing and all that stuff. Yes, then that's not a $25
scalp treatment. Shout out to Rob Medley.
That's not a $25 cut, but because you cut. It's cats that literally, because they cut a celebrity, that gives them ammunition to say, the average Joe, I'm gonna charge you $50-$70 for a shape up. Absolutely not.
You talking about guys who did celebrities though? We're talking about like your everyday barber types.
Nah, but then what they need to.
But you're also dealing with the open market there,
right?
If the celebrities are paying it, that's what the going rate is.
Well, that's on them.
Or
and sometimes you're paying for convenience because at the end of the day,
right?
That 9 times out of 10, the celebrity is not. Like 9 times out of 10, the celebrity is not coming to the barbershop. Like they're gonna either fly you out or they're gonna ask you to come to their home. I mean, even barbers now, even the barber that I go to, that I take him to, they have a fee for if you do home service, it's an extra fee, which I understand because you have to get in your car and drive over. That makes sense. Right. But at the end of the day, if I'm just getting a Caesar, it's the same Caesar that I was getting 20 years ago. And you sitting up here talking about you gonna charge me $50-$60 for that, and that's all I'm getting.
The only reason I say it's an open market is because once again, you have the option to go to somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that's where I say the government is paying attention to the wrong thing. They do the same thing to us on a daily basis. You see things that you buy in a grocery store shoot up, but guess what? You got to get them.
Yeah,
you got to get milk, you got to get bread, and all these different types of things. But I'm saying the open market. Now, I'm not just saying haircut. I'm just talking about the open market realm of things. The government does it themselves. It's out there themselves in the open market economy. But yet they choose where they want to jump into people's professions and go, no. This is what we're going to do. And that's what I don't get. It's not about the barber stuff. I'm not equating to that, Earl. I'm just saying in general. And that's what's confusing to me. If the other things in the economy can get away with whatever it is, whether it's gas, whether it's regular household things that you need on an everyday basis, and the thing that you're going to attack is somebody's livelihood, that is 100% commission. We're not talking about a base rate. It's 100% commission. If I don't do my job, I don't get paid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I just think you can also go wherever you want. If you don't like my rate, guess what? Guess where you can go?
You go somewhere else. I mean, and at the end of the day, that's where you end up saying, like, I agree. Where I say, like, with realtors, you can't chant stuff like that because I don't care how good you are. The average person is not going to be able to go out and make the biggest purchase of your life without education. You need somebody there. You know what I'm saying? It's not happening. And you need time. Like, it's time that you don't have. You working a 9 to 5, and then after that, you sitting up with on your lunch break looking at houses, and then you calling up, I'm gonna go check in, calling to this person. Yeah, I'm gonna put in the bid. Like, you're not doing all of that. Then doing all the paperwork, finding a lawyer. No.
You're about to put people in a world where that American dream doesn't exist anymore. Exactly. The person that works 1 and 2 jobs, and both people, husband and wife, are both working, and they got kids. And they got to pay for school and they got to pay for everyday expenses. They will not be able to purchase their first home.
And the crazy thing is,
and that's sad.
In this market where the apartments, the rent that you gotta pay is disrespectful to the point where it's like
you can't even save up.
It's cheaper for you to get a house than it is for you to pay rent.
True.
So hey, sometimes it's like I said, natural consequences, yo. You just gotta go ahead and do.
Wrap it up. Look, we went a little long on this, but it was needed to hear.
My
but
bad.
Wrap it up though. Now you're good. That American dream, that ain't existed since TV went off.
It ain't existed. No, that's the ID. You be throwing out. You see that IDT? You see that building back there?
That's what
you say IDT. We're gonna put a C there. That'd be a college that you went to.
It hasn't existed. What did I say?
Yes, yeah.
I don't even know what I said. Yeah, yeah, man.
You get it.
Yeah, the world's going to hell to hand. But let's talk about some more money stuff. I don't know how we even transition from one thing to another, but Sunday, if you can see, I got my Wilson green on. Got my hat on. I watched some golf this past weekend. It was the 50th Players Championship. And one thing me and my son noticed, and he plays golf as well. Tiger won't end this tournament. We know Tiger's been injured. But you could have fooled me because we were watching the segments of the Players Championship. They were talking about nothing but what Tiger did like years over, like when he won back-to-back years leading to the major, something like that. And I looked at my son and I was like, that's how you know you still move the needle. You ain't even in a damn tournament and they doing whole 30-minute, 45-minute blocks on you, and you are not even in the tournament itself. And they let you know how bad the tournament, in my opinion, was kind of going. It's probably as far as appeal and viewership until the end, like the last, you're talking about the back nine around the 12th hole on. We had Scotty Scheffler and you had Schofield and those guys there. They really turned it on. Scheffler in particular, man, I think he went about, when they say 30 holes with no bogeys, I think that's what it said. And he was just like bombing every drive, and he had to sweat it out at the end because he was up. He had finished his round 20 under, and Schofield went in, man, and had a birdie putt. And I'm not sure if you saw the highlight tonight though, but it went halfway down and it came out, man. And you know that would have been it would have forced a playoff. Yeah, pause here. It would have forced a playoff. But it added a level of drama that wasn't there without Tiger. Like this is where you really know these guys can have all the number ones they want, but again, none of them will match the record that Tiger had. But just from even your casual golf watchers, maybe every once in a blue moon century, Earl, to somebody who watches a lot of golf, kind of like me, Dave. What do y'all see, man? Has golf now become like a niche again with Tiger no longer being the face of it?
I can't answer this because I don't watch that shit. Honestly, and for somebody who is like me, and I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like the majority of people are in my boat where, and I kind of equate it to tennis or whatever. Even I'll keep it at those two sports. Even gymnastic and some of the sports in the Olympics, where you got the Olympics coming up this year, right? I'm only going to really watch some of these sports if I see representation there. You know what I'm saying? So like tennis, the representation, we're going to watch it. You know, golf, same thing. I'm going to watch bowling because I'm a bowler. You know what I'm saying? So I watch it differently. You guys are gonna watch golf because you guys golf. You know what I'm saying? You watch it differently and you have an appreciation for it. But for the average person like myself, we ain't watching it. The biggest draw for us was Tiger Woods because it was representation. Right. It wasn't even really that he was. I mean, it made it even better that he was good, but it was like really it was because of representation. You watch tennis because of Serena Williams and Venus Williams. Because of representation. What's the sister from Florida? The little the shorty that just won the US Open.
Yeah.
young girl, but we again representation.
Right.
Gymnastics, bios, representation. Other than that, we ain't watching that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I can't answer this.
You did all that, and so I can't answer it.
I can't.
That was great. That was a great take.
What you got, Dave?
A lot of sports run into this time period where they got to find that next guy. I definitely agree with Earl in the sense of, yes, for people that don't regularly watch these sports, the things that pulled them in is because of that representation. Right. And then off those representation, off the people, most of the people that he's speaking about, they were all-time greats. So that made it even better. Like, oh, watching the greatest of all time, and they look like me. So that was awesome. But just in a sense, if we were to even take color out of it and just a person that watches it all the time, all different type of sports. I'm just a sports fanatic. You know, you come into these time periods where maybe sometimes people were so great at a fault because now you're looking at that next person to take over, and you're like, where are they? You know what I mean? And I could break it down in just about every sport, you know. Luckily, things like basketball, it's been able to honestly been given off. It doesn't mean the next person that came along was Jordan, but they had us in awe.
Right.
You know what I mean? In some type of way, they had us in awe. Not all sports work like that. You know what I mean? You go to soccer and things, and you're talking Messi and Ronaldo and stars of that height, and then you're like, man, who's the next person? That person is good, but they're not drawing them in like that, you know? And then when you go over to golf, after Tiger was starting to come on the decline, whether it was professionally or even personally, they both hit at the same time. You know, the talk was Rory and people like that. And then even Justin Thomas, because that was his boy, and they were so close with each other. But while they're still good, they're not.
And to your point, Rory, remember the first day I hit you up, Rory was leading after the first round. And then, you know, that all went by the wayside the rest of the rounds. I was like, yeah, okay. You know, so.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that if you're a person that always watches these things, you're looking for who's next. And everybody understands when I say who's next. And sometimes it just doesn't happen like that, like seamlessly, like being able to hand it off. Sometimes you go through this is going to be rough. Now, sometimes they say the sport in that way, but sometimes you know what's even harsher? When you run into that on your team. So think about myself. I'm a Bulls fan. I've been waiting for my next Michael Jordan, and I got a glimpse through Rose, and then you see what happened to Rose, and I was like, yeah, it's going to be a while.
Yep.
It's going to be a while. So when you start going to your teams, you're thinking of that type of, we go through it as Giants fans. We go, shit, don't even get me started with me being a Mets fan. I mean, Lord. So, you know, we talk about sports in general, but then when you go to teams, you're like, oh, who's going to be that next person? And you can go through decades, or it can never happen. So that's sports in general, but you know what it is that's great? That's what makes it such a watchable thing. You're still looking for it. You know what I mean? You're still looking. I'll give you an example to give you a shout out right now, Earl. Being from up that way, New York, New Jersey area, right? Never been a fan of them, but never had hatred for them either. You know how long the Knicks have went to see a team that they can cheer for, honestly cheer for. Not just cheer because you're a Knicks fan, but honestly cheer for because they got something going for them.
It's like the 90s,
and
yeah, really.
Bruh, you want to know the biggest thing I remember? And Earl, sorry to bring this up, was the finger roll for Patrick Ewing. And then ever since that moment, I saw Carmelo come in and make a splash. Don't get me wrong. I seen people come in. I've seen
it's like
what's his name?
Allen Houston and those
But no, you also saw who came in with the knees. I think he played for somebody else. I think it was
you talking about Brandon Roy in Portland. You talking about Brandon Roy in Portland, though.
No, there was somebody else. I forgot.
Yeah, okay.
But you get what I'm saying? There's people that come in to hold your attention, but you just want to get up to that point where you could just cheer again. And that's the greatness of sports. And not to go away from what you originally spoke about, let's go right back to it.
Mhm.
Golf is looking for that same thing. What is going to be that thing? You know, they got the match now. They brought it in where it's the men and the women together on teams. These are all great concepts. But what is going to be that thing? You might be waiting for his son to be there.
They trying to push him hard. They trying to push
You may
him.
be waiting for that point.
They trying to push him.
So,
but you know, yeah,
that's a long-winded there, but yeah, I mean,
general,
bro.
I think I agree because I think like you said, every sport does go through that, that window. I feel like what golf is also competing against is the fact that the sport itself is not exciting for the viewer, like the average viewer. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So like if you're outside of the golf realm, you can't get excited. It looks boring. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but with basketball, you don't gotta like basketball, but because it's athletic, because you see somebody dunking on somebody.
That's the period that baseball was going through.
Right, same. The baseball is dry, but
people couldn't watch it after a while.
You know what happened? You know what really brought people back was during that home run time during the steroid situation. You know what I'm saying? Because now you paying attention because you're like, yo, you seeing these cats crack the ball out the out the field or whatever, and it was drawing attention, and it was like 3 people every other day. Oh shoot, somebody's at 68, somebody's at 69. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who's gonna win? So that was drawing attention. Same like with football. Football is probably the most consistent sport where like it could be a trash ass team, but because it's football, you see somebody hit somebody and it's exciting, it's always going to be that draw. But these other sports, they need to find, like football, you don't have to have that thing to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. With basketball, even though it's exciting, yeah, you still need that face for the league, but they'll still be okay. But with baseball, again, same situation, but they need something. But what you talking about with tennis and you talking about with like golf?
Tennis is about to go through the same thing, Earl. Because remember, you had the big 3 for a while. You had Federer, you had Nadal, and you had Djokovic. Federer's gone. Nadal's about to be out. And Djokovic is like, should I keep on playing? after I hold the reins of everything, should I? Like, who am I going against? Is it worth?
But you know what? But I still feel like they have a little bit of, because even out on the male side, like on the female side, there's a couple of hits, especially like when you're talking about like again with the, I forget the young, I gotta find her name, but the young black girl, and actually, matter of fact, is
Coco Gauff?
Coco Gauff, and then the other girl who kind of stepped away,
Sloane?
she's
Sloane. No, you're talking about no.
Well, Sloane is another one, but
she's another one.
She's like Filipino
and
black. Yeah. She's with the rapper or whatever. I think she just had she's having a baby or something like that. But she was a draw too. Actually, like I said, I think the women's side, Naomi, right. I feel like the women's side actually is getting more attention, and a bigger draw. So they still kind of have somebody who could potentially be the face, and then too it opens up the floodgates for new people to come in, you know what I'm saying? But with golf, it's just like, again, tennis also has like a little bit of excitement with it. Not a little bit, it has excitement in it. Golf,
it's steady.
Golf is just like even the most exciting thing in golf is a hole-in-one, right? Like how often have y'all seen that?
That's a couple.
Just a times. And on a par like 5 or something like that. You ain't getting no damn hole in one.
You about to talk yourself out.
No, but I know. Listen what I'm saying. I know this much. On a par 5, you're not getting a hole in one because you're talking about potentially 500 yards typically.
Easily.
And who's knocking a hole in one? A driver don't go 500 yards.
The excitement with that is
DeChambeau. What's his name? DeChambeau.
That's them driving.
Yeah,
look at you. Look at the big brains on brand.
If you swole like this dude, you ain't knocking that junk 500 and something yards. Like,
yeah, he do like 400. This is stupid.
Which is still crazy.
Yeah, but what makes golf so exciting, even for a person who's just they don't even watch it. It's actually like the same thing in more basketball than football, but football may apply as well. It's the people who are covering it. You always had the great commentators. You got to think about it now. All of our great analysts and commentators, they're starting to get older. They retired. Unfortunately, they passed away.
That's true
And
too.
they were like, they were
Kept you entertained.
they were linked to that person. And like for like watching like Tiger in there, he had those guys, Mike Tirico, he's still doing his thing. A
Jim
couple
Nance
of
and
those
all them.
guys,
Yep.
Jim Nance and them, they
Yep.
were, even though you didn't have to watch it, but their excitement made you excited. It's like, bro, he just did something. I don't know what he did, but it was exciting.
Causing excitement while whispering. So
Right.
this is about to be
right. And then if you've ever played or if you ever tried to hit a golf ball just one time, just once, you ain't got to play once. And then
Top
you
golf,
watch them do it, yeah. And then you like how hard that is, and watch these guys do what they do. You gotta be like, you know what? That's a whole different appreciation. But I get what you're saying, though. It's at the end of the day, to wrap this up. They are in a space now where they want to face so bad, but those guys, they just don't have, just like most of the OGs, even though the young folks don't like to hear it, they don't have the complete games, whether it's basketball, whether it's golf. You just talk about DeChambeau, kill the drive. Short game, be like inconsistent.
horrible.
Putting, you know what I'm saying? So it's like these guys, they got that one good thing. Basketball, guys, crazy hops, threes is crazy, maybe free throws. Mid-range, trash. Can't play defense.
Like Zion.
Stuff like that.
He can jump out the gym, but everything else is trash. Can't stay in shape. Like, but I will, just to piggyback off of what you said. Now, I do agree that if they do look at other aspects of the game, like you're saying, like the commentating, and think outside the box, I think that would bring some joy to the game. And honestly, what they should really think on, and again, this is like just thinking outside the box. There's a lot of athletes who play golf, who love the game of golf across all sports. You know what I'm saying? And they should invite some of these athletes that have a personality to come on and go, like, and to be a commentator, like a guest commentator. And at least, if anything,
a match.
Yeah, they got Charles Barkley who does it pretty well.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I'm talking about being more consistent with that. Because if anything, at least what you're doing is you're gonna bring a different group in, because it's like, it's hilarious. Like, think about the Knicks, right? On MSG, Walt Frazier is doing the games, bro.
They got the best commercials.
You know what I'm saying? And Walt Frazier, like, you rock with Walt, because Walt gonna come with an outfit every single game.
Shiny every time.
He's still stuck in the 70s. He's still stuck in the 70s.
You ready to smack a bitch?
Or think about the NBA. Like Kenny, Shaq and them.
Shaq, yep.
Them calling a game is hilarious.
Totally different.
You know what I'm saying? It's totally different respectfully from Marv Albert. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna see Charles Barkley cracking jokes like, yo, look at this. Like, and then him and Shaq gonna go at it. You know what I'm saying? Kenny come in there, and then Ernie keep his cool, but that brings energy and a different, thing to the game. Even corny ass Stephen A. Like, him calling the game, or even them talking, doing the joint pre-game or post-game, set or whatever. Like, that brings a different attention to the game. So golf just got to think outside the box.
Hey, look, that was a great layup right there, Earl, because just like you said, bring a different type of feel and energy to it. Pretty much you're bringing a common man to it. Kind of like you guys sign up for the Hot Seat Podcast Plus, you get exclusive access to our 2024 NFL Draft Watch. You know what? All right, so March Madness is here, and it's time to stock up on the snacks for all the hours you'll be spending between games and checking your brackets. That's where Instacarts come in, North America's largest online grocery marketplace. From your favorite food needs, alcohol and supplies, and more, Instacart will connect you with a personal shopper in your area to shop and deliver your order and stay completely safe with their contactless delivery with their leave in my door option. So, receive free delivery on your first order over $35. Just follow the link in the show notes to let them know the Hot Seed podcast sent you. Instacart, so you don't have to go to the store and miss a game during the NCAA tournament, which is starting now and this weekend. Yeah, this is the Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, man. Episode 141, man. Let's go ahead and just talk about some NCAA. So tonight, and we're recording this on Tuesday night, 9:00. Actually, I believe you want to call this the play-in per se. What do you want to call this game that's going on tonight? It's the low end teams that are playing tonight. I don't know for the men, right? But the tournament starts
on
this
Thursday.
Saturday. Thursday, my bad. And it is set. The number one seeds are set for both the men and the women. And I will say that this year is a little different. I'm not sure what's happening on my screen right now as I try to navigate to the thing that I'm looking at right now. What's happening? I think my laptop was trying to run a virus scan as we do a show, which is always interesting to say the least. But in any case, so both the men's and women's number one seeds have been put in place. On the men's side, UConn, Houston, Purdue, and of course, North Carolina Tar Heels. On the women's side, South Carolina, Iowa, USC, and Texas. Not a lot of fanfare per se. I mean, I did watch quite a few of the tournament games. I saw the upset that happened with North Carolina State and the Tar Heels, but I think we said it before. I feel like the women's tournament is going to be a lot more
I'm more
organically exciting to it. Whereas I feel like the men's side, they're going to try to, they're going to try to what's the word I'm looking at? Generate like a false like excitement around it, which ain't really there for me. What y'all think? I mean, what do y'all think about the number one seeds for one, and then two, whatever else you got?
I mean, I don't think nothing about them only because I haven't been paying attention to it. So, and this is, I ain't gonna hold you. This is probably like this year, and I'm gonna say last year. These are the first 2 years that I really haven't really been paying attention to college basketball, honestly, because I can't even really tell you like who is some of those outliers on some of these teams. I know like the only one I really know that I'm excited about is DeJuan Wagner's son, and that's just because he's from Jersey and I've been following him since he was in high school. You know what I'm saying? So he been kicking up and doing like what his father was doing when they was at Camden. So he's the only one. But I can't even when I look at like North Carolina, and I'm a North Carolina fan. Like I forget my man name. I don't even know who's everybody on that squad, but I know the one dude that got the old mustache. Like I think he's trash.
Yeah.
The center. Like I feel like he's trash. Like, and I don't know where when he goes to the league. I don't know what position he's going to play because he's undersized to be a center, and his skill set ain't. Again, no, respectfully, I don't really know.
You're trash.
I ain't gonna say trash, but I'm just saying.
You already said it.
My man, Mondo Baycott, man, he'll be all right, bro.
Baycott, but he like a Sean May, bro. Like, and you see how that worked out for him. Yeah, he's a tenured coach, and that's a great job, but his career was very low. So I don't really know who's who. It's crazy because I know more of the stars of the females than I do with the males. So if anything, all I'm looking for is that I know the normal guys that have been in there, like, you got your Dukes and your UConns and stuff like that. And honestly, I'm just like, yo, as long as the number one seeds and all these high seeds get knocked out by these lower seeds, I'm cool with that because that's exciting. That's exciting. But for women's, I would definitely like to see the four heavy hitters, that would be nice. I don't know. I got to look at the brackets to see if that's even possible. Because I don't know where they line up, but I would love to see South Carolina. I'm always where Dawn Staley's at. I'm always going to root for her. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you had to ask me who I would want to win the whole thing, I'm gonna say South Carolina because of Dawn Staley. You know what I'm saying? But if you ask me student wise who I want to win, I don't like. I ain't gonna hold you. I like what Dawn Staley and them doing over there. You know what I'm saying? I do. I think Caitlin is dope. You know what I'm saying? And Angel Reese, I feel like she's dope, even though I feel like she's getting away from her craft a little bit because I personally feel like she's more focused on all the extracurricular, the NILs and doing all of that stuff. But I just hope Mama don't lose her edge. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
That's what I got.
What you got, Dave?
I just want to put a disclaimer out there. I'm a Michigan Wolverines fan, so don't ask me anything about men's basketball on the college side. I refuse. So am I excited about March Madness? Yes, because that is the one time I'm going to tune in, whether I watched all year or not, because just off the excitement. But do I know who to root for and who I'm looking? No, I just want to see entertaining games that go down to the wire. That's it. Yeah. Let me see some upsets. Nothing's going to upset me. So let me see some upsets.
Say that again. That's the bar. Let me see some upsets because nothing's going to upset. That's a fact. That's a fact.
So if you want to know what I care about more, hands down, it's on the women's side. Just for the reasons that Earl already stated. I'm also a person that I'm like, yeah, Dawn Staley, just go with it. Go with it. Because you ain't getting the respect that you deserve. If this was somebody else, doing what you were doing, they would talk about it all day.
She'd be in the Hall of Fame. They would
talk about it all day.
Be in the Hall of Fame.
But now they want to find all the different things that are going on with your team instead of the fact that they're winning. And they've been winning year after year after year. They're always in that conversation. And the way that you stand for your team in so much of a professional way. We spoke about this the other day, the other podcast. I mean, just clap it up for her. She does so much for that game of basketball on the women's side that she is so much underappreciated for what she does.
Would you say nothing in return? Would you say that she's the Dion of women's basketball?
I would say it in the sense that she's that because they're not ready for her.
Gotcha.
They're not ready for her. She's
unapologetically her.
But this is the thing. In the same, I'm glad you asked that, Earl, and stated that actually. They're bigger than their game.
True.
And that's why they can't handle them.
True.
It's not even the fact that they disagree with what they're saying. It's just that they're bigger than the entity of the game.
That's true.
So it's like, what are we going to do? They're outshining what they're supposed to be a part of. And neither one of them is even trying to do it, even though you see Dion being boisterous and stuff. No, that's just him. That's always been him. He didn't click into that when he was a coach. No, he was that rookie year. You knew
they weren't built by the machine, man. They weren't built by the machine.
And I love it.
Yeah.
That's why.
Who doesn't want to see the girl from Iowa and Caitlin Clark and Angel go at
Angel Reese? Yeah.
Who don't want to see that again?
Which is crazy.
See South Carolina try to come back.
Or
USC, old girl from USC.
Who put this together? If you look at the bracket, they got them all on like one side. Like
they killed Iowa, son.
That did,
bracket for Iowa,
right?
Oh my god!
I'm like
because Iowa. Hold on,
guys. You got to read the room, bro.
Yeah, they definitely put them all on one
Iowa
side.
has UCLA. They got LSU.
Right.
I don't know much about Kansas State, but it has them high.
Just LSU and UCLA, them two alone. Like, what do y'all not? Y'all should be trying to set up that matchup. You know, the entire women's sports, actually NCAA sports world, they're clamoring for that matchup between the two. And yeah, I don't know how.
My rooting level for both boys and girls, or men's and women's, I should say,
Yeah.
It starts with first rooting for any HBCU that's in there. That's where my first root start from. Now, for the most part, they're usually out pretty quick, so that goes quickly, respectfully. Then the next thing would be rooting for the local teams. So something New Jersey and not New York, Jersey teams. I do that. And then after that, I just want to see a smaller seed or a bigger seed, upset the smaller seed. So
staying in the basketball realm, we've all seen the replay and the highlight right now. I know we saw the other night Anthony Edwards decided that he was gonna, he was going to participate in manslaughter on one John Collins and easily dunk of the year. But at the same time, we are from a different generation of basketball. And Anthony Edwards has been nasty, bro. Like, I've seen all the funny things about it. Everybody was like, yo, there's no way at this point he could deny that he's Michael Jordan's son. It's the funniest things reading all this stuff.
He's athletic as shit. He's athletic. Like,
He has that in him, man. But at the
oh,
same time, I will say that this right here, and I got to ask, best one. So you look on your show, everybody's watching on YouTube. You're looking at Anthony Edwards and his dunk on John Collins that happened the other night. Then you go to 2000 when half man, half amazing himself, Vince Carter dunked over 7'2" center man. I think his name was Frederick Weiss. I think his name was in 2000, and he dunked on him. Now the difference between the two dunks is Vince actually dunked the ball through, whereas Anthony it kind of like threw it through. If you want to,
he threw it through.
But either way, it's nasty. Either way, bro.
The better dunk, hands down, is gonna go to Vince Carter. Because for one, Vince Carter, if y'all remember, they got that off a steal. They got a steal. And he didn't have that much room to gather and jump over this 7'2". And when I tell you that he cleared this 6'6" dude cleared a 7'2" dude like all the way, and he dunked the ball, like I said, like you said, like he wasn't far enough. Like, no, he dunked the ball. Okay. Like, so it's gonna go to him. What Anthony Edwards did was dope too. It just, he kind of threw the ball, and Collins is about 6'8", 6'9". But the energy and the aggression, and he had a whole full court gather. Like he was coming down the court with that. So I mean, shame on Collins for even getting in the way of that.
So who's the better dunk? Hands down, Vince Carter, and Earl already stated the reasons why.
Right.
But this kind of ties into what you had just asked about the golf situation before, Sean. We're always looking for that next thing. Nobody can tell me that Anthony Edwards didn't pick up that baton or that torch as far as the human highlight reel, because that's what he is, man. The things that he do on that court, all together, not just dunks, just all together. You're sitting there like, what? Like it's sick. And that's what basketball needs. You know what I mean? So when we say we're looking for that next thing, he definitely has the human highlight reel title, hands down. But what was the better dunk? I haven't seen anybody, especially not just dunks, like, oh, I'm in a dunk contest. In-game dunks. Vince Carter, man,
because it was so disrespectful. And actually, back during the Big Short era, if you guys go back and look at what the NBA uniforms looked like back then, they were all big and baggy. Everybody was wearing the big white tees then, and NBA just was down by their shins. And there's a rumor that said that center man, Frederick Weiss, like, I think, and it may not be true, bro, but they say he stopped playing ball after this, man.
I would have too.
Like, it was so,
bruh. Pause already. He put his nuts in your face. And
not even like in front of the world, bro. Like the world,
on the Olympic stage. It was not even.
Man.
Like you on poster. Like, what do you say to your son?
I
played against one of the best players, but daddy, his nuts was on your head.
Yeah,
go take that garbage out. No, you go take that garbage.
Right.
And you see KG and Gary Payton face in the joint, man. They looking like, oh, this is really happening right now, man. And KG, he always be amped anyway. And I hear him telling the story on his show on his pod. It'd be so animated, man. But to your point, Dave, Anthony Edwards, I like the fact that he's in Minnesota. Often they take these guys and they say, well, he would be so much bigger if he was in another market. No, keep him where he's at.
Yeah.
I remember Chicago wasn't a big market team back in the 90s. They weren't. It was LA, Boston.
But the market was big. It wasn't a good team. The market was big.
The media coverage. And it came to them. Let him stay in Minnesota. Minnesota ain't really had nothing popping like that since Kevin Garnett was really there. And obviously,
let it play so well that everybody comes on your side.
Comes to him, yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, I hope Minnesota does what they're supposed to do and make sure that they keep him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But
I also think too, like when you're talking about kind of going back to what you said earlier, Sean, when you're saying like all of these teams, or well, not teams, but all these sports are looking for the one. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think with basketball, it's going to go away from it being like a singular person, because for years I think it's been like one carrying it. LeBron had his era, you had Kobe had his era, Jordan had his era, you know what I'm saying? Now I think it's going to be a collective, and it kind of has to be a collective. I think that you could throw some names out, like an Anthony Edwards, like a Wembyani, like a John Morant, and things. Yeah, I know I killed his name. Greek is kind of this kind of his era too right now. He's not in the age range of LeBron and them. Luka too. So they got a few people that collectively that carry. After Bron and them is gone. But
Bron and Curry.
Yeah, and Curry. But like I said, it's going to be the collective. So
I agree. We got pause.
Say cat got your tongue.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know what just happened. I guess they're just trying to tell me to move on. Oh, that's what. It's exciting times for us, man, here at the Hot Seat Podcast, man. So much so, of course, we did launch our new website, the HOTSEEDpodcast.com. It is live and ready to go. So much so that we even got merch. Fellas, we got merch. I tell you.
Yes. Look at that.
And we got exclusive
merch. Y'all.
We got the official THP golf polos, man, and our initial colorway with the white, gray, and the navy blue, or blue if you want to call it, and then of course the official graphic tees, signature. Dads with mics, games with headsets, unfiltered conversation, and those guys will be arriving soon, and we'll be shipping out end of this month. So if you haven't already, make sure you go to the HOTSEEDpodcast.com, and go ahead and get your pre-order in, man, and support the pod, let them know what time it is, stuff like that. Y'all ready for some not so breaking news?
Not so breaking news.
Not so breaking news.
So this is, and it's not so breaking news, and neither one of them can really be, I guess, proven yet. So there's two things that's happening right now. So of course you guys may have seen that Dave Chappelle allegedly signed a $2 billion deal for a late night show with CBS, which I dug for this, and the only places I saw was like Facebook, some other offshoot websites, and stuff like that. So it looked rumor at best. That would be great. First of all, I don't know what type of late night show you signed it for $2 billion. I know Dave Chappelle is that guy, but $2 billion? Like that's
I don't know how Dave Chappelle is going to do a late night on CBS.
Right. Like that's of all places.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to put it on a streaming platform, maybe one thing. You tell me Dave Chappelle about to do a late night show on CBS and this thing can air? Nah.
Yeah. So that was that. The other one is one that is interesting because a lot of reputable, quote unquote, places have reported on it, and that being one, Bruno Mars, one of our favorite artists, allegedly being in the whole $50 million on the gambling side with MGM. Of course, he has a residency with MGM that he signed on, I want to say 2013, that he signed on with them. And so much so, the Huffington Post on YouTube, Yahoo, they said MGM actually addressed the rumors regarding the $50 million gambling debt. And in a statement given to the Las Vegas Review-Journal on Monday, MGM report shut down rumors the 24K Magic singer had racked up a $50 million gambling debt and that he was paying his balance via multiple business deals with MGM and its Las Vegas properties. The company said claims that it has Mars on the hook for millions were completely false, quote unquote, writing, "We're proud of our relationship with Bruno Mars, one of the world's most thrilling and dynamic performers."
So if I'm hearing this correctly, he had some type of debt, but he has been paying it through other ventures.
Now that was the rumor. That was the rumor that he was paying back to them. So they're negating that. But we all heard this: where there's smoke, there's fire. We just said that little rumor that was with Dave Chappelle was nothing more than some rumor. Somebody might have started that. There's been a ton of places that were reporting on this. That doesn't make it true, but a lot of reputable places were reporting on this. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. I do know that he performs a hell of a lot. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
I mean, I heard he had a sugar booger issue. I heard that, but you know, I mean, also too, I don't respect. I don't care enough about dude to really be following him.
Right.
What I will say is that if he has a $50 million or any kind of debt in that to that magnitude, he got the wrong people around him. Because if somebody didn't pull him to the side, his financial advisor or family member ain't pull him to the side and say, "Yo, we cutting you off," or you got to you got the wrong people in your circle. You have the wrong people in your circle. So
it's I mean, he's one of the biggest pop acts in the world. Say this. You see what he did at the Super Bowl and stuff like that. You know, again, you know, it's rich people problems. Hope it's not true, because you know that's being on the hook for that, and you working that off. I mean, he makes quite a bit of money. I think he makes about $9 million a year off the deal he did with the casino. According to that, the source said, you know, but of course he has to pay the debt back. So I don't know what really to take from it was. It came from somewhere. Apparently, this came from an inside source at the MGM. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. If this pops back up again, then you might be like, or you know, stuff like this always comes out in a documentary. Like, you know, they somewhere down the line, and they always, you know, it'd be on some what's that joint they always do? It's like Hollywood story or something like that.
Be behind the music or something.
Behind the music type joint, and all of a sudden you start hearing about that. You'd be like, all right, yeah, that was true. It'll come out, you know, when we all, you know, old and sitting on our porches and stuff like that. But maybe not. Maybe it's a lot to do about nothing. Say Liz, you know, Dave.
My bad, fellas. Something going on with the video here. But my take on it, because I did kind of look over this. Like you said, they debunked it and everything else like that. And honestly, because he's had a history with the tables anyway. I think he used to actually be a card dealer and stuff like that. But the whole thing with that, even if he had a little bit of something, there's no debt to there because he's performing for them. You get what I mean? So I don't think it was anywhere near that number. And even if he owed a little bit of something, you don't really owe something when you're bringing millions of dollars in on a nightly basis. So that's like saying Usher owed the place that he was at. Come on, man. Are you serious? I owe you? Are you serious right now?
No, you owe me.
At that point, just let it ride, bro. He just out there, just let it ride. Just let it ride. let's get into some quick some video game corner, man. Keeping this thing moving right along, to say the least. So today's March 19th. Again, we're recording the show now, and today it actually dropped today on Xbox, Game Pass, PlayStation, Switch, Xbox itself, and that being this year's iteration of MLB The Show 24. It is available now. Yes, sadly, Dave, it is still without our franchise that we want to do. I don't know what's taking them so long to do that. If they ever gonna do that, they're not hearing our cries.
That's weird.
But this is the first year that it arrives on the new gen systems, which I didn't realize when we were playing.
But they had the Negro Leagues though. Ain't that some shit?
So this is, yes, to Earl's point, yes, they do have the second year of the Negro Leagues available on this one, and they also have a couple of storylines in there this year that one I was not available of. So of course, this one you have a woman in the game this year, and so I had to look and see, because of course, with everything in the human race, especially in America, you get a lot of dumb people who make really stupid statements about, why is there a woman, in the Major League Baseball game, this, that, and the other, this ain't softball, a lot of ignorant shit like that. So, but one of the compelling things is the actually has a storyline on there for to Tony Stone. She was actually the first woman to play on a pro baseball team in full-time capacity. She actually played in the Negro Leagues. Black woman, played a time there. She actually played with the St. Louis played with the St. Louis Clowns or somebody else. I pulled it up and I lost it just that fast. But she played with two of the Negro League teams for a year. And she batted about 243. She actually passed away back in 96. But so hers ties into the Negro League second season of that aspect. They also have a Derek Jeter storyline in there as well, improved graphics and stuff like that. I will say the one thing I do like, but even though it's kind of weird, I do like the fact that baseball has always been one to shell out their history, good or bad. That's one thing. Hell, you can't even say things like about baseball because all the historians and stuff like that. So that's the cool part about it. But I'll say, is anybody playing it? I did download it already, but is anybody going to give it a swing? I heard some new mechanics and stuff has happened. Nah.
No pun intended.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I'll probably try it out.
Yeah, I think me and Dave tried the last one.
Yeah,
and we played. I mean, he was kicking my ass. I couldn't. Maybe if I, played it a little bit longer, but it was getting frustrating because you couldn't figure out how to hit, or at least I couldn't figure out how to hit. And then the pitching, I was just kind of just hoping,
The base running was the main thing.
The base running was horrible. Yeah. It just like it again. Sometimes it's just go back to just being simplistic. Like y'all do
base
too much.
Loaded.
You do too much with trying to
loved it.
Change stuff up. This is even like on NBA. Like, the alley used to be so simple. Now they made that jump like impossible to do.
You don't even want to do it no more.
Yeah. It's
simplified a little bit.
I was trying to play, and not to get away from the MLB part, I was trying to play 2K the other day, and the same thing struggles. Is still trying to get that timing right. Still escapes me. Like trying to get
the shot
shooting. Oh my! I said, bro, I'm not this bad. I just can't get that timing right on it. So I'll see how that goes. But
that's a personal problem, man. You're a musician, so you should. I don't know what the issue is.
Well,
but the thing is, you got to get in that practice gym because everybody's timing is different.
What I was about to say, if you got on there and actually practice, then your timing would be.
Same thing for baseball. You get on there and swing the baseball, but
baseball.
The
difference. No, but the difference with the baseball, it was like, with us, our thing that draws us to all of the games is the online leagues. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
The fact that you don't have that And I'm just like, yo,
how do you have a sports game that doesn't have a
that
league?
that has a league that is a
Yeah.
league game, but you don't have an online league? Like that doesn't make sense at all.
That in itself would. I mean, I think that's the first thing when it first came over, and we were excited about, because me and Dave was the first to jump on it, and we thought, man, if you got an online franchise, this is going to be dope.
You jump on that. Go ahead though.
And now it's like, okay, we can play all, match our teams up against each other. But besides that,
It's cool. I mean, it's cool. It's like, and then I would be more invested, and I would, it will force me to want to learn. All right, this is how you do the base running. This is how you know what I'm saying? Because you got to play. Like when me and Dave, we play in our league, like, yo, it forces us, even though the layup sucks, like it forces us to figure it out. Or, or just get people that we know that don't need to do layups. They could just dunk the ball, so I need them to do better.
You're just less invested. That's all.
Yeah.
It's we'll see how it goes. So it's out now. It's available now for free. I think to this day, I think at this point now, the first year when it came over from Sony, all of the Sony fans were pissed off because we got it for free, and now they don't really care about it anymore. Now it's not even under Sony PlayStation Studios anymore. It's under San Diego, unless they changed the name, San Diego something studio. So I guess they either changed the name or they got bought out. But either way, it looks really, really good. From what I could tell on there, they have upgraded even the facial aspect, so you are getting the first true next gen version of it. So that may be exciting. But again, the miss is the online franchise, league. So fix that. If they don't fix that, the replay value, I'll give it a 6, maybe 5. You want to dive into the Negro leagues, if that's what you want to do. I guess. That's the Hot Seat Podcast with your boy Sean Earl Dave, episode 141. Of course, make sure you guys subscribe to the show on YouTube at the Hot Seat Podcast, and make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Hot Seat Podcast as well. If you haven't already, and we're going to keep talking about this till we're blue in the face, but more importantly, as we approach the NFL draft, as the NFL free agency period is kind of cooled off now, become a supporter of the show. Whether you watch football or not, become a supporter of the show, and you get exclusive access to a lot of other things that we do, whether it's hot takes, other things that we do as well, and you get 20% off off of our official merch, which is dope as well. But why this is important now is all of our Hot Seat Podcast Plus members, they will be able to tune in live to the NFL Draft Watchcast. It will be available after the live show for everybody else, but the next day, so going into round 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. But that first night will only be for our members. So tap in with us. It's gonna be a fun time. A lot of analysis and jokes and football talk and drinks and snacks, and for the whole 4 hours and a half and some change that we can go through it. Stuff like that. Yeah, what else we got, guys? Anything else we got on that? Anything that I missed on this show? I feel like we talked about a lot. Dave started off with a bang. He was going scorched earth for a moment there.
My bad.
But it's okay.
You know what's crazy? Before the show,
I
looked at Andrew and I said, "Yo, I got to stop writing, because if I could show you out my page of all the stuff, man." I'm only halfway through my stuff that I put out there.
I'm just thinking, since Dave got a real estate corner, I should do like just an educational corner.
We can work it out.
Don't call it corner though.
Yeah. Like come to the Earl's classroom or something. But
I like
what I will say,
I got created another graphic,
and this would be the unofficial thing, right?
It's gonna get fired.
No, I'm good. Half of them don't even know I got a podcast.
Good enough.
But this is just general. The one thing that I would say, as a parent who is in education, I warn parents to not be naive and to really, really be vigilant on technology, the technology that you allow your child to be exposed to, and really curb what you give them. It irks my soul when a parent complains about it or makes excuses about it. And I'm like, let me explain something to you. You have all the power in the world with that, because guess what? Your children don't have money. They have money that they get from you. Okay. Right. So all of their worldly possessions are yours. You can take it away. You can sell it. You can do whatever you want with it because it ain't theirs. It's yours. If they get money from birthdays and stuff, like, yo, they think that's their money. No, it's yours. You know what I'm saying? They live in there rent free. It's yours. So I say all that to say, like, I need parents to really pay more attention because, yo, there is so many avenues for kids to communicate and talk and post stuff. So much so that we don't even know half of them. Like, I literally just found out another one today that I never heard of. That's pretty popular. I'm not going to say it on here, but it's pretty popular. And it's just like, it's scary to be a parent at this time because it's like, yo, you see a rampant of so many social media issues happening online with these kids, and these children don't even understand the significance of getting caught up with that can entail, like how that they can get you in trouble with, law enforcement. So again, I just say to parents, like, stop being naive, get these electronics away from these kids. You know what I'm saying? Curb what they have access to. None of them should be on social media because they ain't prepared for it. Like, I need Facebook and all of that. Well, Facebook is old, but I need Facebook, IG, and TikTok to kind of go back to what Facebook used to do, where it was only for college students. You know what I'm saying? Or make it just for adults, because kids are not mature enough to handle that. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my little snippet, my little tidbit. I'm tired.
Earl's classroom.
That's what I'm talking about. New graphic coming soon. Best believe it. Of course, man, this podcast wouldn't be what it is, man, if we hadn't taken conversations like these from our Xbox Live chats and bring it over to the podcast space where you guys have come to enjoy it for the last 3 years. So, of course, sticking to that same realm, you can find us on Xbox Live. Find me at Sanatu2X. Again, you're not going to be to play. Well, you can play online games in MLB. You just can't play a franchise. So if you find me up there, Sanatu2X, we can, get a few innings in, 5 innings and go on 9, because that you'd be there all day doing that. Or you had a couple of things up there. Somehow, some way, I don't know if I was drinking or if my son did it. Watch Dogs 2 is now on my system. I don't remember downloading it, but it's there now. So yeah, that's a old school drink from a few years ago. Again, I'm trying to get my muscle memory right to, at least dive onto the NBA 2K, 24 space. Remember, I still own a Dreamcast. I can play that just fine. Trying to get my way there. So not 2X, man. What you got?
The storyteller. Remember that this is recorded on a Tuesday. What I'm going to speak about is a Wednesday.
On a Tuesday.
Takes place on Wednesday, but that's when the episode comes out. You know what it is. X-Men 97, Disney Plus, animated series comes out tomorrow. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll actually gonna binge the last season of the old one, because I heard it's a continuous thing. So I'm gonna binge the last season of the old one and then watch the new one to keep me, what they say, abreast of the situation.
He said breast.
What you got, Earl?
NJ Fat Boy 973. Call of Duty, NBA. Unfortunately, this podcast was birthed out of, that realm. But quite frankly, it's only 2 out of the 3 hosts on here that's really consistently on there. Let's just talk about it. That's all I got to say. So
just trying to end with
just say, we don't see Sean anymore. Yeah. We don't see Sean.
I'm busy creating new graphics for Earl's classroom. One time for
So we always saying is, for our avid listeners, just tell Sean, come back on home, bro. Come back on over to Xbox.
Get that
Play a
man in a
couple games.
classroom, and now he sound like Mr. Rogers.
Play a couple
come on
games
back
with
to
us,
the
bro.
neighborhood.
Play a couple games with us, dog.
Go ahead, put on your sweater, Earl. Put on your sweater.
Now, next week I'm gonna have glasses. I got them ready, and for the corner, I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
For the classroom,
Yes,
stop saying corner.
Yeah.
For your classroom.
My bad, for the classroom. I'm sorry. I'll be ready.
Oh, man,
Soon we'll be able to say Dr. Earl's classroom.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I gotta make sure this thing is official. This is gonna be
I'm coming
nice.
here with my regalia, that expensive ass regalia.
I like it. So again, man, make sure you guys tap in with us on your Apple Podcast, Spotify podcast. And then Dave pointed out X-Men 97. I almost forgot that. I'm glad you reminded me. X-Men 97 dropping. It's it's nostalgia that's happening right now, which would explain now why I've seen so many of the Marvel stuff being played. Because you ever notice if you're watching TV, especially sci-fi, TNT coming out there, whenever there's like gonna be a new thing coming, they all start playing like all of the old Infinity Saga stuff, and it's been the last few days, and that's why I can see what's happening. So should be a good year for us. I'm just
Take your time, young man. Mama used to say, "Don't you rush."
gonna say now that Man 2 to 2026. It's the hot seat, guys.
The hot seat.